We're Robin and Steve. We've reluctantly left the beautiful gorges of the Kimberley, and we left off here with Wales, on our way to Broome to get much needed vegetables and fruit. We awoke in a cloud, with winds light enough to use the spinnaker on one side or the other. We rarely have sailing conditions this calm. It dove. Oh.
Not a calf, just two big whales.
They're coming straight at us.
That's a different one.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm following two others.
Again we awoke in a cloud, perhaps with whales nearby, but we wouldn't see them until the clouds cleared. Potty mouth alert.
Fuck. Holy shit. A little remora.
We cut the engine when they were that close, and then once they were safely behind us, we'd continue, slowly, on our way toward Ganthian Bay near Broome. It was the end of the holidays. Cable Beach is very popular. Near the beach/car park, there are dinosaur prints, fossilised. We hoped we'd be back to see them, but first, here's our grocery shopping adventure. Step 1, land dinghy on the beach safely, in the waves, in the fog. Step 2, drag dinghy up the beach to allow for the 11-metre tides. Step 3, walk 13 kilometres into town to get much needed groceries. We hadn't shopped for about 5 weeks. Step 4, double-check navigation tools to check that we're on the right track. Step 5, eat at a cafe and go shopping. Step 6, get a taxi back to the dinghy and note that there are storms coming. Next mission, Operation Gas and Circus. A lovely friend from Theatre Kimberley, Sandfly Circus, offered to take us both back into town so that Steve could fill gas bottles and I could practice to perform in the bust-out cabaret. So we quickly unpacked our groceries and then went back ashore. The lovely people at Sandfly Circus let me practice my act. with the knowledge that we still weren't sure if the anchorage would be safe to stay in the upcoming weather. It was not. Onshore winds here are dangerous. Feeling super grateful to have met with Sandfly Circus, we took a nice walk while we could, for we'd be boat-bound for some time, and then we set off through the shipping lane. The captain of this ship was thoughtful enough to radio and offer to change course as we punched into the wind in these whale-rich waters. We saw many more whales than we filmed, and yet I still have plenty of shaky footage of humpback whales who have swum here from Antarctica to mate, give birth and nurse their young before heading back south around September. We sailed 41 nautical miles and anchored way offshore, which is still shallow around here. The winds died, for now, so we could get a bit of rest. We were literally surrounded by whales, also turtles and sea snakes. When it's this calm, the sounds of whales carry a long way. And what a symphony it was. Earlier, I'd been on the phone with my sister when this happened. Shivers, it's like a bus going by. So
Take video.
Did you just hear that?
What?
It went, it did a blow.
Well, you better video it.
Yeah, I am.
All right, love.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
So that was a good bit. Next would be a bit of a harder slog with bad weather coming, and we were going to be boat-bound for 10 days. Did you notice Steve had a beanie on? It's getting cold. Things were breaking, like our anchor windlass switch. Here Steve's fixing the wiring as we wait out some bad weather, which blew over 30 knots, first offshore, but then along the shore, exactly where we planned to go. Rain. We hadn't seen that in a long time. A nice chance to rinse our boat and ourselves. Patch of calm before we're off again. Leaving Admiral Bay for 80 Mile Beach. In quite rough conditions and rudely low temperatures, compared with what we've been spoilt with. In this episode, we're sailing about 470 nautical miles from Broome to the Dampier Archipelago. And it won't be easy. We've dodged the winters of our Tasmanian home for years now. And now we're not quite sure how we'll cope with a Tassie winter. Maybe this will help us acclimatise. When it's this rough, we graze. Steve's snack of choice is peanut butter. Before at least trying to recline. We made a couple of stops along 80 Mile Beach, but never got ashore, as we had to anchor so far out to get enough depth. We're on our way to the Dampier Archipelago. We'd blocked it out for a while, but sailing south along the west coast is hard work. There's hardly any shelter, and often strong winds against us. Oh look, there's the mainsail, which we've not used since crossing the Bonaparte Gulf. Should be clipped on. We adjusted the traveller, we reefed and unreefed, used spinnakers, genoa poled out, genoa without a pole, making use of any wind that wasn't against us. and in this case, directly behind us. Sometimes we can take out a reef going directly downwind, but sometimes the battens get a bit stuck in the lazy jacks. I'll admit that fixing this is hard for me because I'm too short, so this is Steve. We spent a couple of nights at sea after leaving 80 Mile Beach, resuming our 4-hour watch schedule, which we haven't used since leaving Darwin for the Kimberley. We wove between islands and through shipping lanes in the pitch dark, hearing whales slapping their tails, but being unable to see them. A strange experience, to be so near such powerful animals in the dark. We made it to Marnie Bay. But not for long. It turned out the swells wrapped around and that this anchorage was too dangerous. Sleep must wait. We bashed up wind, staying out of the busy shipping lane. With winds of over 30 knots, shipping captains and pilots wouldn't want us in their way. We radioed in to make sure we were going to stay out of each other's way and reassure them that we would not be in the shipping lane. As we passed the town of Dampier in blustery conditions. Once things calmed down, we would return to Dampier with its many ships, minerals and mountains of salt. For now, we'll leave off here at East Lewis Island, where after 10 days we could finally stretch our legs. Join us next time as we finally reinflate our kayak now that we're out of croc country. Although sailing south here on the rugged West Australian coast is hard work, we found some gems. In fact, one of our favourite anchorages turned out to be a testing site for nuclear bombs on the remote Montebello Islands. I am by no means promoting the testing of nuclear weapons on remote islands, and it would be much nicer if it weren't radioactive.